Hi guys. Today I'm gonna make a short review of the features of the ATAX knife made by Tubbs and designed by Ron Hood from survival.com. But first thing, I want to thank my buddy Chris for setting the camera during this video. So, this knife, as you've seen it on a previous video, has a really unusual shape. It looks like a push dagger that has a cleaver blade on it. It's really an unusual design, and first thing I want to say is that it's not a primary blade, it's designed to be a secondary blade, and it's a knife that should be used by a bit experienced users, because it's the way you handle it. You will have the fingers and most of the hand pretty near the blade, and the risk to cut yourself do exist. I almost did several times, but you have to be really careful when using that knife. So this is why I say this knife is more designed for professional use or people that are really used to knives. It shouldn't be a first knife if you want to get into bushcraft or survival. Now I'm just gonna show you. So you have here you have a nice Kydex sheath with this bit of paracord. It's when you have it on your waist, you hold it. I'm gonna show you, it will be easier to understand. You can or just remove it that way, or you just hold the paracord knob here and you get your knife without twisting your belt. You have two really sturdy spring steel clips here, which are really strong, and because of their design you will you will not lose the sheath from your belt. It's really well made and well designed. It's thick, quite thick Kydex, and really a sturdy sheath. Now excuse me, the knife itself. So first thing you may notice here, I'm gonna get closer. Here you have a small hole, depression. It's first designed to be a kind of level when you put 2 or 3 drops of water inside, and you will be able, sorry, hope you see that, you will be able to see if your knife is level. This is because of another feature I'm gonna show you in a few seconds. Now here, as you may see, it looks like a hammer, and well, it's designed to hammer nails or things like that, and just under the hammer you have a wire breaker which works for a lot of different wire gauges. It's a really thick and really well made. I'm gonna show you also the thickness of the tool. Hope you see it. It's 5 millimeters thick. I think it's a really thick tool and really strong. Now, so before I talk about the blade, here you see that small diagram. Well, this could be used for several things. When you put here a piece of wire hanging down, you can aim with your knife at things on the terrain and see the angle. This means you can calculate the height of something, approximately, of course, and you get quite good precision when doing that. You can also use it by putting a nail here and looking at the sun and pointing this at I have a doubt, I should see the DVD that comes with, but you can have a sun clock, and this could be really useful when you know where the north is. So I'm sorry, this should be pointing to the north. Now you have this large slot here that is used for nail pulling. It works really well. It works when you want to tighten bolts and nuts, and it's also, as you may see here, you have some marks, and you can use that as a range finder. It's also an approximate way of finding the range, but it could be a really useful tool on the field. And here you see several slits all on the back of the blade, and this is to attach the ATAX on a piece of wood, a stick, and I'm gonna show you that in a few seconds, how you turn that into an axe. Now you have here a small hole to attach a piece of paracord. My advice is to always have a length long enough to attach this on a piece of wood to use it as an axe, because this is an all-terrain axe. This is why the name is called that way. I think it's almost everything for the features. Yes, one other thing here in the handle, it's hollowed out, and as you see, the screws are straight slit like that, so you can use easily just a round piece of metal that you attach to your piece of paracord to open and get access to what's stored into the handle. Now, how to handle the knife. You can handle it in a lot of various ways. First one is that way. It's nice for cutting or light chopping, using it pretty much like a knife. But you can also use it more like that. When you build your axe, this is the way you want to use it, to use this part of the blade as a really small axe. Now you can also try here. You can also use it upside down, and like so. It's really useful for several chores. I've used it. You have a great control on the blade that way, but you can reverse the grip and, you know, hold it. I would hold it that way and use putting your finger in the kind of slot, the rangefinder indeed, and you can use like so for really finer tasks. But be careful, you have your hand exposed to the blade, so you should always be careful when handling this knife. Sorry, my hands are freezing right now. And this part could be easily used as a nulu blade for scraping your skin, not skin, I don't remember the name, hide, your deer hide or stuff like that. You can scrape it. Works I think pretty well because of the design that looks like a nulu blade. So you have a lot of ways to hold the knife, to use it. And now I'm gonna show you just how to mount it on a piece of stick. Now one thing I want to say, it's when you buy one of these knives, you will have a DVD made by Ron Hood with it that allows you to know every single important trick to use this knife properly in the field. So it's really a well-made DVD. It's really clear, and you will I think you should see it 2 or 3 times before trying to use it, and use it properly and use all the features that are in it. Also, one thing I've forgotten, the small leveler here, you can use it easily for, it's designed for that, as you know, the piece of wood you have in the hand when using the bow and drill method. But when doing that, you will want to resheath your knife like so and use it that way to be sure. So here you see it that way, to be sure you won't cut yourself, and then you can block it against your leg for you know, resting straight and avoid moving like so when moving the bow. So now it's time to show you how to attach it to a piece of wood, guys. But first I'm gonna reheat my hands because they are about to fall. So see you in a few seconds, guys. Okay, so I've removed my paracord, but when you use it as a small axe to prepare your axe handle, it's maybe good to have a small fob or your piece of paracord just here, so that you can use the two fingers technique, like so, and just have a better chopping power. But I have gloves with a high grip, so it will work without any problem. Now, when choosing a piece of wood for that knife, what you want to do is just be sure you can have the bridge, the space between the blade and the handle that accept the piece of wood, like so. So you see it, I hope. So now, I'm taking dead wood. I don't want to kill a green tree for that. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just chop it a bit. Okay, just another way to handle it is by putting the handle in your between your thumb and index, like so. And if you have a piece of wood that you can just block against your torso, you can just scrape. I've shown that for the feather stick method with that knife. Here I'm just gonna scrape it off a bit. Okay, next thing to do is just make, because, well, first thing I have to say is that the problem with that kind of axe is that the head might come off when you are breaking wood, chopping wood. So the better way to do is make a small carving all around, so that the paracord or any way mean of attachment you use will sit right inside and avoid the head getting free. So that purpose. You can use the knife like that. I'm not yet totally used to that knife. It's really a different way of working with it, but it's really comfortable for long time use. And I think it's a perfect secondary blade or accessory knife, tool knife for getting out in the woods. Here I'm using the bottom of the blade. I'm using it upside down, and it works just like a charm. And my fingers are cold. Okay, now what you want to do is just make a slit. If you have like jute twine or another piece of paracord, you can attach it here around this place, so the wood won't split too far. Of course, you can also use a piece of green wood, a bit smaller, and use it, you know, just fold it in two and go over the bridge, so that reduces the risk of the head flying off when using the axe. But now this is only one method, and it works great on the field. So okay, be careful when inserting the head. It's one of those moments you may cut yourself if not being careful enough. So now you have your head inside the piece of wood, and you can use wire ties. That works really well for a quick attachment, but you don't always have them with you, so a piece of paracord will work as well. Now, I haven't found the perfect way to attach it, you know, about networks and so, but I'm still trying to to work my way. And excuse me. And here, when attaching the paracord, you have to be extra careful, because that's the moment you may have your hand that slips right over the blade, and you may injure yourself, especially in that moment. I don't have a lot of dexterity with the cold fingers, sorry guys. But, well, I'm gonna make it a bit quickly because I really have, I don't have a lot of dexterity right now. And I can't even undo the nut I've done. Okay. Damn it. Okay, so here you have an expedient axe for outdoor chopping. It's not well designed. I have made it as quick as possible, but you know the head won't come loose, and the only thing I'm not sure of is how to tighten the leftovers of paracord. Now I'm just gonna go find a dead piece of wood, a small branch, and chop it off to show you how it works when using it as an axe. So, see you in a few seconds, guys.
Stop.
Okay guys, so as I've said, I don't want to cut live wood, but here we have plenty of dead wood, and this will be perfect for a small example of this axe knife, hybrid knife in use. So well, the paracord wasn't tight enough. This is what I said, I'm not quite comfortable with the way of how to attach it properly. Now I will find a way with experience with that knife. I'm gonna cut this piece of paracord if I continue that way. Okay. So, as you see here, my groove wasn't big enough. I was especially careful because I didn't want to have a flying head or two flying heads, this one and the head of my cameraman. So, I'm not gonna make a further demonstration for today because it's getting dimmer and dimmer, but it works really well when you want to have a small axe always with you, especially on a bike trip where you may not want to have a huge tool. And as this is a heavy piece of steel, you have really with the handle a nice prolongation to use it properly when cutting some wood. You can also split wood, you can use it as an axe. Maybe you will have a small, not problem, but it may occur that the wood, when cutting it, just block it here. But as the blade is pretty thick, I didn't have that problem so far. So as I've said, I'm really not used to that blade yet. I'm trying to discover it, but my first advice would be, if you carry this knife with you, carry a piece of paracord, of course, but also you would want to have 10 or 20 piece of good quality cable ties, Colson ties, to put it easily and quickly and firmly on a piece of wood. It will be, I think, a good idea. So you have the choice between using paracord or using cable ties, and I think it's the best and the most quick way to attach it firmly and securely. But it works really well, and I just wanted to share some of the features. I'm not really complete here because, as I've said, I have seen only once the DVD that comes with, and I don't know by heart all the features you have on that knife. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video, and if you have any questions about that knife, just ask me. I will try to make a video to answer your questions. Feel free to ask, and thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Cheers.